Right. I know. That's why I got you. What's going on? Welcome back to the Dog Whisperer podcast. I have the pleasure of sitting down with one of the most decorated masters track and field runners on this earth. And luckily for me, I get to call her a friend, a sister. I get to celebrate with her and watch her, accomplish over the years. Miss Easter Grant is in the building with us today. How you doing, Easter?
Oh, doing good, doing good.
Doing good. You just got done with what, indoor nationals or worlds?
Worlds. I got done with indoor worlds and tour run Poland.
Yeah. You got
Yep.
what, second in the 100, right?
Yeah, I got the silver medal in the 60 meter, and I have the gold medal in the 4x200 meter. So
Yeah. World champion.
woo! Finally.
So that was your last race in the 35 division?
Yes. Last race.
And so now you're moving up to the big 4-0 division.
Yep. On to the next division.
All right. So before we get going on, what's in the future for you, when did you start running track? Like, when did track become like a passion for you and you knew that you wanted to go, like, take it to this level?
I can say elementary, but I didn't get too into track until middle school. But elementary, I kind of lit the spark a little bit because we used to have these little junior type Olympic type games on fun days in elementary. And I'd go out there and do few little sprints, but I didn't really get into track like that until probably middle school. And from middle school on to high school, of course, high school on to college. And yeah, so I'll say probably when I was in middle school where I started to get a bigger interest in track and field.
Okay. So you went to UAH to run track for college, right?
Yes.
And how did that go? Like, did that continue the passion for you, or after you graduated college, were you kind of done with it, or how did that work for you?
UAH, of course, I was a scholarship athlete. So I would say that it continued it in a bit, but at that time I was more probably in between, like I'm trying to graduate and I'm trying to do track at the same time. But I would say that I didn't get more back really interested in running until sometime after I finished college. Even though I enjoyed it in college, but I feel like after college is when I was like, hey, I think I can get back into this. So
yeah. So how long after college did you wait before you got back involved with track and field?
As far as me personally running, coming back to the sprints, what I usually do, it probably took probably a little over a decade before I came back. But in somewhere in that time, I was, doing coaching, and I was just working speed camps and things like that in between. So track was never too far behind, but I wasn't personally getting back into track and field until like a little over a decade.
Okay.
So
what brought you back to running? Like, how did you find out about the Masters division, and like what brought you back to doing it?
What brought me back? I had a coworker at the time, who so happened to be my coach at UA, one of the coaches at UAH. When I was there, we ended up working together. He did master track.
Okay.
So that's where I learned about it. I wasn't old enough at the time to do master track. So, cause in the USA, you have to be, at that time, you had to be 30 years old. I was probably like 26, 7, something like that. But I heard about it through him, and I just, I kept on doing what I was doing at the time. But yeah.
So did you start running right when you turned 30, or how long did you wait? Like once you hit the qualifying age?
I did not start at 30. I started 31 because, I had a lot of stuff going on at 30. So I was like, so,
Yeah.
but even in that time, before I officially came back to sprinting, I was actually doing a lot of road races. I was distance
Okay.
running at that point. I did multiple half marathons and 5Ks, 10Ks before I came back to actually sprint. So yeah, I think at 30 I was still finishing up my last half marathon or something like that. But after that I was like, okay, that's enough. Let's go on back to what I'm used to doing, which is sprinting. So I think I officially came back at 31.
Okay.
So yeah.
So did you do a full season that year, your first year?
Um, I did.
How
I
did that
did.
first season go?
It was interesting. It was very interesting. Let's not discuss that. I'm just playing. Yeah, it was an eye-opening experience for me that showed me, maybe I need to. I thought I was gonna quit after the first season, but then I was like, you know what? Let me just re-examine some things and see what I could do the next season. So
Yeah.
that first season was like, whoo,
Yeah. So then you come back that second season. Was that when you started winning? Like the second season, was it when you started really getting on the stand
Um,
and
let's see, 32. Yeah, that was 32 was probably my first breakout because I started, getting the feel for the competition, getting the feel for how I need to train at the time, and just starting to slowly put pieces together. But I did have a better season that year. So
okay. So when did you get to start doing races with Team USA in the Masters?
I started doing races with Team USA probably around I probably was around 34. And at that point, that was just regional meets. That was just me being Team USA on the regional level because for to actually go to the world level, the World Masters Athletic Championships, you had to be 35. So
Okay.
but they do have a regional where you can be 30 and you
Okay.
can participate in that. And then 30, and of course 35. That's the big deal. The big world championships of masters right there. So yeah.
Okay. So last year outdoor worlds and then this year indoor worlds. Were these your first two worlds, or have you been before?
No, they weren't my first two. Matter of fact, this one touring, the one that just passed, touring was I actually went to touring prior in 2019. And
Okay.
that was actually a breakout season for me as well because that was my first world indoor and I medaled in all my races. So yeah, so at this point I've been to probably 4 world championships at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So what else is there for you to do? Now you're in the 40 division. So is this a new chapter for you? Like, are you kind of resetting your goals, or is this kind of like a continuation of what you've already been doing?
Um, I think it's a little of both. That I wanted to say continuation, but then it's kind of research set as well because this is like a new division,
Yeah.
something new to conquer, something new you know, to know and see where I fit in as an athlete. as whatever level I'm at this point. So I'm gonna say it's not a total start over. But starting over as in, hey, I got to probably you get some new goals,
Right.
and cause the training there. So
Right.
I'm just like, what do I want to do in this next division that keeps me motivated and keeps me challenged?
Right. So would you be in the 40 division for this current outdoor season, or are you finishing up still in the 35 division?
No, I'll be 40.
It's 40.
Touring was the last 35.
Okay. So now we're in the outdoor season, the 40 division. So when's your next meet for outdoor?
Um, I am thinking my next meet will be at the end of this month at hopefully at the end of this month at Penn Relays.
Ooh.
So that's probably where I want to open up at least my 100 meter.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for now.
Okay. So Penn, that's one of the bigger ones. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be out there. You think you're gonna get on the line with some of the youngins?
No, they're gonna be in my same age group. Huh.
That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see you go on the line, you know, and race one of these 18, 19 year olds. Let them see, what you got.
Uh, what do you think I've been doing these past few years?
I know I want to be there. I want to be in the house and see it. I want to see you race
Like,
Shakari.
come on now. Well, no. That's hilarious. No. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be in that division. So, yeah.
Okay, so what do you think as far as outside of actually running? What do you want to get involved with? To kind of give back to your sport and to the young ladies and young men that are coming up that do watch you and see what you're able to accomplish.
Um, I've been at this point I've been joining in some of the committees as far as the USATF organization is concerned. So I'm trying to get more involved on that front, just becoming more than just an athlete. So
Okay.
that's one thing. And of course, I have my Instagram where I provide motivation, inspiration, and things like that. And I mean, I guess I want to. I guess I want to go back to like coaching a little bit. So I guess that can motivate and inspire other athletes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like you want to coach at a high school, college, or would you think of like maybe AAU where you could kind of or USATF, summer track?
Uh, I'm probably thinking on the youth level
Okay.
of trying to get that that section. Um, because they more impressionable than someone that's at the college level or whatever. Even though you can inspire and help people at the college level, I feel like it would be more beneficial for the youth
Right.
level. So yeah.
I could see a summer track program named after you, Sprinter Bells. I can see the red and cream uniforms running around the track.
How you know it was gonna be Christmas cream uniforms? Everything
Yeah,
gotta be Christmas cream.
it ain't pink and green.
Oh no, no, now see, you going a little too far right now. You going a little too far. No,
I
no.
mean, I could see it either being the crimson and cream or you're gonna have something purple.
Yep, you right. Some purple.
It's gonna be
Some
one of the
purple.
two. And I definitely, just as long as I've known you, just watching you at our age, of course you are a little more older. You
But
don't
wait,
see,
what you trying to say? What you trying to say? I don't appreciate that.
you don't see us, getting out there at that level. It takes a lot for us to even just work out at all. But to go out and compete at that level, I think that a lot of people don't see just how much work that takes. Because you look at the videos, you make it look easy, and sometimes you may fall into a situation where the women in your heat aren't even close to you. But I think they still fail to realize what kind of shape you're in, the way you work out, how much you work out, how your body, goes through these, the pain and the pulls and stuff like that. What would you say as far as just talking about like your process, like how you work and kind of how you go about setting up your seasons and setting up your workout regimen throughout the year?
I would say I have to, at this point, especially being 40 years old, I have to make sure that I am listening more to my body at this point.
Yeah,
Because at this point, like years prior, I could have ran a whole bunch of meets and been good. Now I'm at a point where, hey, I can only do probably like a certain amount of meets
yeah,
before my body be like, nope, you done for the season or whatever. So
right,
I have to keep that in mind when I'm planning my season, and I need to be planning like what for the important meets. Because basically the only meets I really have that are important, of course, national meets, the national ones, and if it's a world meet like the one that just passed Worlds. So I need to make sure that whatever I'm doing that season, that is catered toward the ultimate goal. And of course, like I said before, my body,
right,
because I'm not a college kid. I may have a college body or whatever, but I'm not a college kid. So I have to modify stuff. Like I
right,
can't go 5 days a week on the track. My body will break down immediately. So it's like as far as training, I have to be mindful of that at times. And sometimes I just forget. I
yeah,
forget sometimes and I end up paying for it. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of factors at this point that go into it. Like, yeah.
And do you stick to a certain nutritional plan like during your season, or do you kind of just wing it sometimes?
Wing it. I try to at this point I try to stick to a certain plan for me.
Right.
There of course I'm not perfect and I will have something that I'm not used to having, but hey, it's all good. We make mistakes. So yeah, but most of the time I try to stick to a certain plan for myself.
Okay. And what about in the off season? Do you stick to that, or you kind of just let yourself have fun and
I'm a little more relaxed in off season. Not really strict. Technically, I'm not really strict in season either. Cause
I,
I'm, I, what was that? What's that?
I know
Oh,
I got videos of the pantry ratings like
now you have to say all that. Now you have to say all that. But I mean, long as I know how to fit it in,
yeah,
yeah, it's not. It's not. I wouldn't say I have a strict nutrition plan, but I have a certain plan I like to stick to stay at a certain level. So,
all right. So what would you say to the young lady behind you that is maybe finishing up
you
college?
said Bobby. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I get what I did right there. But she's behind, she's
You back there? I was like,
no, but she's finishing up college.
okay.
And she's not, she probably won't go run professionally right away. She isn't hitting those qualifying times probably. But what would you say to her as far as, kind of being patient and still coming back to it, years down the line to be able to compete in that Masters division?
Um, I would say that, like, I'm just starting like echo with what you first said. You have to have patience in this
Yeah.
because I didn't come. I know a lot of people look at me at this point and think like, "Wow, she's really fast and such."
Yeah.
But what they don't realize is it took me a few years to get to where I am, and it took a few. It took me modifying a lot of stuff. It
Yeah.
took me, you know, finally finding something that works for me because when I first started back, I was not exactly training myself at that point. I was with a training partner. We trained together. Then eventually we stopped training together. And then I started training myself.
Yeah.
And it was probably when I started training myself and figuring stuff out for myself that I started going this way, up that way. Not to say that prior to that I wasn't, because I'm just be honest, I was still winning
Yeah.
then, but it was a different type of win back then than it is now. I'm getting faster and faster with age, and that started when I personally started taking over my own training. So
Okay.
I would tell that person that you have to be patient and you can't really look at another athlete. So I'll use myself. You can't really look at me because you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I do. You really have to come into this thing and focus on yourself.
Right.
So
I mean, that's the beauty of track and field. For the most part, it's an individual sport. You know, you have your relays, but for the most part, you get to kind of focus on you and what you need to do to better yourself in your race and
right,
compete for
because
yourself.
in the end, it's all about the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I
So
like that. The best version of yourself. That might be the title right there. So what's next? Okay, pin relays end of this month. When's the national meet for outdoor?
um, it's sometime in July. I don't know the exact dates because I forgot, but it's in July. So it's in North Carolina. So yeah. So
And
basically, that's what I'm really training up to. But I'm gonna have some fun in between there because I'm 40. But yeah.
you are 40. 40.
Okay, you ain't got to say it that many times now.
I don't know if you realized it, that you're 40.
Yeah, I think I realized it. I think I
Yeah, that
realized it.
you're the only one on this podcast right now that has a 4 and a 0
Yeah,
in
because
their
you
age.
have a 6 and a 0. I understand it. That is awesome. I mean, I see. I understand because since you have a 6 and a 0, yeah,
I'm about to have a 6, yes, after a 3,
a
but you
six
have
and a zero.
a 0. It's amazing, what you do. How you can raid the pantry on Tuesday and then run a 25 in the 200 on Saturday. That's
Wait,
really,
wait now. I ain't ran 24 at this point now. We
oh, you
faster.
did. You did. You're right.
We
For some,
faster now.
hey,
But I
maybe
can
it's the
raid the pantry. That's why I ain't been on. And they're raiding the pantry. You know I like chips.
I know that's why they stay in there until you get here.
Like, where the chips at?
But yeah, most definitely though. I definitely, I'm motivated by you, and I'm inspired by you. But definitely very proud, of everything you're accomplishing, you know, and then also very proud of your transparency. You have a track meet and you have something that doesn't go the way that you anticipate it to go, and you get online and you share that, with everyone because everybody's waiting to see, how your race went. We
Mm-hmm.
love you on the, stand and, holding, putting the medal around your neck, but also being able to share those moments where it didn't go the way that you expected.
Right.
I'm just sharing that, and then the accountability. You don't say, "Oh well, this person did this, and then this person did this." It's always, you know what, I didn't have the best day. This happened, but back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
Um,
because people always, I just, I guess that's why people like me for the transparency, because I feel like when you out here, you should show every part of track and field.
yeah,
That matter of fact, if you're gonna call yourself an influencer, a motivator, like I guess at this point that's what I am.
right,
You need to be transparent. You need to show all the dimensions. It's cool when I'm winning, but what am I gonna do when I'm losing or whatever? Something didn't go right. I need to put that same energy into when I'm down
right,
as well as when I'm up. And
right,
I think people respect the person when they not, that I don't want to say we're being fake, but if you showing that you winning all the time and
yeah,
missing out on the parts where you can, show people the real side when you're
yeah,
down and they can learn lessons and they can see that you've learned lessons from that. I mean, it makes them feel better about what they're doing
yeah,
and makes you seem more real to them.
right. And it makes what you're doing feel like it's more obtainable. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I
Right,
could probably
right.
do it if I know that, hey, when I got out there, my leg cramped up and I had to, sit down for a couple of days. But the same thing happened to Easter, and she got past it, she worked through it, and then she soared. So it gives me kind of that motivation, like, well, I can keep going. I can do it. So,
Right, because you're not gonna have the perfect race. You're not gonna have the perfect game. You're not gonna have the perfect thing every day. So be
yeah,
able to show when you're not having the perfect game, when you're not having the perfect day. What do you do? What did you learn from it?
right,
So that's just how I feel on it. I'm like, people shouldn't be. If I call like I said, if I call myself this influencer, this motivator, this whatever, I need to be able to show you every part, no
right,
matter whether it's good or whether it's bad.
right.
Because matter of fact, in Poland, I had a bad race in Poland, so I put that out there. but yeah, all well that ends well. So it is what it is. So
Absolutely. You learn from it. You come back, you get better, and then you go and you run the fastest times that you ever ran. So, I mean,
yeah,
that's what.
that's pretty fast.
Definitely. So, would you like to leave the uh, people that will watch this with anything? Like, what would you like to say to the people watching as far as where you're looking to go next? Like, what's next for Easter?
Oh man, nothing but up from here. I can't even tell you where I want to go with this because honestly, I think I've done what I wanted to do with
Yeah.
as far as where all my goals, everything that I wanted to accomplish when I first came back to Master Track, I already accomplished. So at
Right.
this point, I'm just having fun.
Right.
So I'm just trying to say, okay, I'm already at this level. Let's see how high I can go. So I'm kind of excited about now. Let's see what the 40-year-old person can do.
Right.
So if I'm out there whooping a college kid, hey, hey, it is what it is.
I'm going to send an email to Allison Felix and see if we can get a race set up. I feel
No,
like,
don't play with me.
I mean,
There's no way I'm racing Allison Felix.
since she's
I'm a
retired,
fan. I'm not.
since she's retired, it's time for her next chapter. I feel like an Easter Grant, Allison Felix race
No,
would be
I'd probably be standing out if I was standing next to Allison Felix. Look at my girl.
you got to be ready to race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
I understand that, but it's Allison Felix, man. What do you want me to do? Just stand there with a straight face? Be like, hey, Allison. No.
Yeah. After when you get done racing, then you can fan out after you beat her.
Okay. Alson, he said that. I ain't say that. If you so happen to see this podcast, he said that. He instigated that. I just said I'm gonna be like, but yeah. So I just need you to know that he said that. Easter Grant didn't say that.
We're gonna set it up. I'm gonna figure out a way to set this up. We're gonna set this up. I feel
Set
like
up for what? And do what?
okay, so you run a 150, she runs a 200. No, you run a 175, she runs a 200 because giving you 50 meters, that's just crazy. So 175, she runs 200. There we go. Even playing
But
field.
she Alson Felix. So I'm just saying.
How much?
Give me 150.
That's not fair. Because you run a good 24.
But that's Alson Felix though.
But you run a 24, what, 24-8, 24-9?
7.
24-7. That's too much. 50 meters.
Yeah.
That's crazy. She would have to run a 20.
No, she wouldn't. She'll be all right. Alson, you'll be all right, girl. You'll be all right. You'll still catch me.
No, I'm going to definitely email her, though. I don't know if she'll ever see it. But I'm going to send an email to her team and see if I can set this charity chat meet up. She might not run, but maybe she'll come and show her face.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. All right, guys, we've been talking to Easter Grant. It was a pleasure, being able to kind of hear some of her backstory, see some of the stuff that she's done. Easter, tell them where they can find you at on social media.
You can find me at sprint2fitness_EB on Instagram, or on Facebook, you can find me at sprint2fitness.
All right. Y'all go and add her, follow her. She does post daily. She gives a lot of motivation. She tells some, funny stories. She does some little funny videos. She's a straight influencer out here in these Huntsville community streets. So definitely go follow her. Anything else you want to leave them with, Easter?
No, I think we've covered it all, and you just set me up with a race I ain't asked for, but yeah, that's great.
Hey, if it comes to fruition, you'll be thanking me, because that is going to get a lot of press here in Huntsville. There'll be a lot of people out there watching that race.
For what? Because I ain't gonna race. They're gonna be watching her. If you don't give me 150 meters, I know that.
Now, all right, we'll set up the logistics of it. If she responds, we'll set up the logistics.
Okay, sure.
All right, it's been real with Easter Grant. Thank y'all for tuning in. Star Wars Podcast.